in this quick video, I'm just going to go through a range mask, or range masks, and how they work and how they can help you with your editing. So this is an image I've chosen because it's got quite a bright sky and a bit of a underexposed foreground and subject, so it'll be a good example. So first thing we want to do is go in and create the mask. So this is just follow my mouse over here on the right hand side here. In the middle here, in the rectangular box, this is the tool we're going to use, which is a graduated mask. So it's clicked, it's highlighted, so see if I click it, it comes up, click it again, it goes away. So it's got new highlighted, so we can create a new mask. So all we're going to do is just take our mouse into the center of the screen, click on the screen, and then just drag it. Okay, so you'll see there you've now got 3 lines. In the center you've got the control button. If you hold your mouse over that, you'll see that that'll show you what's highlighted in red is the mask. Now, if we just use these lines, so now you can see they're fairly close together. If we hold our mouse over the center again, you can see everything above the middle line is absolutely a flat filter. There's no gradation in it at all, and below it, it just grades off gradually, and then that's the end of the mask. So it's quite a soft filter. And if we move these lines apart, you can see that then the gradated area of the red is actually bigger. So we want to bring that down because we don't really want that. So we're just going to use that. So you can see there it's pretty much got everything above the horizon, which is the sky, which is what we're looking for. Okay, so that's the start of the mask, so that's the masked area, but we can go in now using the range mask, and that's, if you follow my mouse over here to the right, you see we've got all of the tools here, and below that it says range mask, and it's default set to off. So we're going to click on that drop down, we're going to click to luminance. Okay, and then it says show luminance mask, so we're going to click on that so we can actually see the masks. Now, we've also got these new sliders which have appeared. One says range and one says smoothness. So on the left hand side it's at the dark end of the scale of the image, and at the right it's at the bright end of the scale. So if we start playing with these a little bit, we can just slide these down. So you can see there, as we move it down, it just goes to the areas of shadow. And if we do it the other way from the left hand side, you can see that it starts to do away with the brighter parts of the mask. Okay, so with this we want to try and, if we can, get rid of the mask actually on the building. So we can just move that there. You can still see we've got some pink in the mask here. Okay, now what we can then do is go to the smoothness and bring that up and down. So just for argument's sake here, just for demonstration purposes, we'll have it so it really is quite dramatically selecting the most luminous areas, which is right in the center there. Okay, so that's our mask that we've created. Okay, so if we now go in and turn that mask off, okay, we bring these sliders, control sliders back to the middle. Okay. And what we can see, so let's go following over here to the tools on the right hand side of the screen. So let's go to the exposure. So we can drop the exposure down. You can see that all that is doing is affecting the mask. Let's show you again. That's the mask, and that's only affecting that area. So very accurate masking, selected through luminosity. So on that we can go to change the contrast, we can change the highlights. We can change the warmth. We can change the tint. green to magenta. Add a tiny bit of magenta into that. Okay, so straight away you can see how powerful that is. Now, if we want to move that, change that mask, okay, that luminosity mask, the range mask, change that range mask, we go down to the range mask settings, and then we can have a little play with the masking. You see, as I do that, it comes on and off the building, for example. Okay, so we don't really want it on the building, so as soon as it starts to have a bit of an effect on that, we want to just stop there. Okay, and then same on the smoothness. So then it's more focused, less focused. Okay, so let's drop down there. So I think that's probably not too far off on the actual exposure we want. So just dropped it down a little bit, warmed it up a tiny little bit, and added a tiny bit of pink to give us a bit more of a sunrise sort of feel. Okay, so then that's that part of the mask. So we'll just hit the return key, do that. First time it's still there, the mask, but we're not using it. And then the second time, there. So that's the effect of the mask now. What we're going to do now is click the gradient mask again. This time we're going to work from the bottom. So start just below the building and drag up the mask. Again, straight away we can see it's been affected. We can hold our mouse over there. Now, because we are actually trying to affect the building a little bit, we do want to actually include the building in this mask. Okay, so you can see there, that's the building. So that basically now is grading off to the top. From the center line to the top, you can see there's a gradient. So we want to use that feature, so we'll just move that up a bit more. Okay. So below the center line, it's absolutely flat. Above the center line, it actually is a gradient to 0. So the red there fades off. So anything that's got the red, or a grade of the red, is your mask. Okay, so again, we're going to turn that luminosity mask on. Turn on the show luminance mask. Okay, and then we can change change what's actually going to be affected. So as we move it away from the full luminosity, you can see it's just the areas. See the bright areas. That's the most shadowed areas. That's the deepest shadows. So I think that's probably a good place to start. And the smoothness just highlights that more, or softens it up, or sharpens it up. So let's just keep it a little bit soft there. We can change this afterwards, no problem. So we'll turn the mask off, turn the luminosity. So it's not revealing, it's still there, but it's not doing anything. Right, so we can go then into the, bring this back to 0. It remembers the last settings on the mask. So, okay, so now let's have a look at what we can do on the lower part of the picture. So let's go to the exposure. So I'm going to bring that up, so down. So that's obviously a bit too coarse. We can go to shadows, move those up, move those down. Contrast again. So tiny bit more exposure there. Move it up a little bit. Now with that, you probably want to just go down and have another look at that mask. So we can move that a little bit. Move it the other way. exposure. So just bring down the highlights here. Bring down the shadows a little bit. So you can see now we can brighten up the water. The actual hotel itself, we can work on that as a separate item, but what we want to do is actually just bring that mask down a little bit so it's really not really affecting the building so much. Okay, so let's turn that on and off to see what effect that has had. Okay, so let's just say we're reasonably happy with that. Okay, so now we're probably doing quite well here, apart from the building itself. So we can add a third mask here. Do this with the different tool, which is the circular tool. So we're just going to highlight that, drag that out. Okay, same again. You can just refine that a little bit. Okay, we can then hold our mouse over to see what's been selected. So we need to go out a little bit more over here. Drag that out a little bit more. Make sure we've got the pretty much the whole building there, which is I think we have. Okay, and again we can go into the range mask, turn that to luminance, show where the mask's affecting, and again we can check the range. So if you just want to do the real deep shadows, that's the deep shadows, or if you want to do the whole building, it's a bit of a fraction. Okay, I think that's pretty much the building nicely done there. Okay, just turn that off. Now we can go to the controls. Okay, so we want to bring up, say, the exposure a little bit. The warmth a little bit. Anyway, you can see that that's only affecting that particular area. Texture into that. Okay, so let's turn that off. Okay, so I'll hit return. There, so I'm not saying that's the perfect edit by any means, but it just gives you an idea of how you can select particular areas of the picture using the different masks, radial masks, or the graduated masks, and then go in using the the range mask to actually select those areas. It's a lot more accurate, and the beauty is that you can actually go in and edit those to your heart's content. Okay, so there you go, range masks.